Now, Secretary of State Marco Rubio is ascending in popularity in the eyes of Republicans and conservative Americans. He is now in line to be a top challenger for the 2028 Republican nomination for president. And one of the reasons is that he has been masterful when it comes to executing America's foreign policy. There have been a number of controversies, no doubt, but the way that they took out the Venezuelan leader and who has put pressure on Cuba shows that the Donroe Doctrine is back. That's right, America is not allowing socialism to take off unchallenged in its backyard. And of course, we've seen some major foreign policy challenges abroad, including the Russia-Ukraine war that is still ongoing and the Iranian military conflict that just has not been this 4 to 6 week conflict that many observers expected might happen. And that also is a huge hurdle for the State Department right now. But Marco Rubio is showing that he can walk and chew gum at the same time. He has a huge announcement through a State Department spokesperson.
In distress here. These designations and our focus is based off of groups who are engaged in violent terrorist activities such as kidnapping, targeting U.S. law enforcement, targeting the civilian population. And when we started talking about this ministerial, we actually had so many countries raising this as a problem that they started proactively reaching out to us to be involved in this ministerial. That Washington Post article you just showed on the screen, for example, suggested that other countries don't want to work with us on this. Nothing could be further from the truth. This has been a gap in our counterterrorism strategy for decades, and this administration is determined to address that gap and protect the American people.
And Tommy, they are now going to be taking on international communism and Antifa, particularly the violent strains that have caused chaos in cities throughout the world, who have pressured and infiltrated political parties and have used political violence as a means to accomplish its objectives. And so Marco Rubio is really stepping up to bat for this important cause, because we're seeing the DSA, that's right, the Democratic Socialists of America, take over the Democratic Party. Now, this isn't mere hyperbole. DSA has approximately 120,000 members and strong ties with a number of the most prominent Democratic Party politicians.
Fox has learned, this is a big scoop, Fox has learned that the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, plan to roll out their brand new platform next week, and we have the details. Let's put it up on the screen, and your jaw's going to drop at the first one here. So, number one, they want to eliminate the U.S. Senate. So a whole third branch of government, let's just get rid of it. That's number one. Number two, let's just replace the president and the Supreme Court with an executive and judiciary chosen by and subordinate to Congress, so no more equal branches of government. And then third, amnesty for all immigrants. We saw that one coming. And number four, defunding the Department of War. This is real. I mean, this is coming in a matter of days. And these are the candidates that are winning across America.
Well, absolutely. And just real quick on the vetting aspect. Yeah, Graham Platter, the people who brought him into the race only vetted him in 3 days. Vetting typically takes weeks. So Democrats are going to potentially end up in the same position they were with Graham Platter. But on this, yeah, Aisha, what they were telling us is they want to dismantle the system from within. And you look at countries like Venezuela, where socialism took over. Hugo Chavez was democratically elected. He promised on the same things we're hearing from some of these socialist candidates on the left, to return power to the people, to fight corruption. And then what happens is they get elected and they do the opposite. The power gets consolidated with these bureaucrats, with these politicians, with this new ruling class, and the system gets corrupted. And, so these same people who say that they want to, empower the people, they don't. They just want to empower and enrich themselves. And these are people who can't get powerful or rich on their own.
That includes Rashida Tlaib, who recently made a just head-scratching statement about America, really dragging it through the mud while turning a blind eye to the history of Islam. Talk about hypocrisy. Let's take a look.
Look at this room. We ain't going anywhere. Political structures that I have to work in, that we all are surrounded by, was built on slavery and genocide and rape and oppression. Real change doesn't come from the cowards and warmongers. in Congress. It comes from the streets. It comes from all of us mobilizing and seizing the power to resist and fight back. Gaza is the compass in this country. Now we're in Congress, and we're every corner of the United States.
Now, Rashida Tlaib is very much a proud DSA member, and another person who is connected to the DSA, not a formal member, is Ilhan Omar. The DSA has supported her in the past, and another one who is considered the superstar of the DSA is AOC. She is not too far off, according to Zogby, in a hypothetical matchup with J.D. Vance in the 2028 presidential election, should she decide to run. And this is really mind-blowing how someone like AOC, who has not accomplished anything in her life except for becoming a politician, well, she is a favorite in the Democratic Party to run for president, especially among the radical base. And another one is, of course, Zohran Mamdani, who became somehow, some way, the mayor of New York City, a capitalist beacon around the world, and now he's running out businesses left and right. New Yorkers are fleeing in droves, and this seems to be part of the plan because he just released a map with all of those enclaves boasting about, well, frankly, third world immigrants, and removing Little Italy and Hell's Kitchen being the Irish enclave going back to the early 20th century. They built a lot of the infrastructure of New York City, but they don't get any credit. Doesn't this seem like equity gone far wrong? I think that it is. It's a very warped narrative. And the DSA, they are not trying to reform America. They're trying to overhaul it. And some of the things that they want to do is get rid of the Senate, get rid of any constraints on popular democracy, and that would be the Electoral College. They want to pack the Supreme Court and overhaul our institutions, make the presidency subservient to the Congress, etc. And here are some DSA members. They say their goal is to ultimately overthrow America. And that is a very serious thing. They are doing a lot of damage to our cities. They are letting criminals run rampant. They refuse to deport or work with ICE to deport some very serious criminal aliens. And I think you've seen these reports over and over again about the lowest of the low. We're talking about some very horrible people. And the Democrats are protecting them. So they want the chaos. They want to overthrow the U.S. government. They want socialist revolution. And I think that's quite clear from their own words. I am not making this up. It's simply the state of the Democratic Party right now, that they are beholden to this radical socialist left-wing organization. Many of them boast about being communists. They have the hammer and sickle like Stalinists. They idolize Mao Zedong, just like Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, did. I mean, he was handing out Mao's little red book to students. So I think that the Democratic Party is in serious danger, and they are a threat to America. And hopefully Americans can wake up in time for the 2026 midterms, ensure that they don't take both the House and the Senate. And just from a strategy standpoint, I think, sadly, that the Republican Party is so feckless and so unable to pass its agenda that they are merely surviving by the fact that the Democratic Party is far worse in the eyes of a lot of Americans, not all of them. But the House of Representatives, if it should go to the Democratic Party, I think Hakeem Jeffries would be one of the most disastrous speakers in American history, and will give Americans a good glimpse of their agenda, turning America upside down and reaping the political benefits to try to implement a one-party state. That is their goal, and we should take them at their own words. And we'll leave you with some of their words, very chilling. So weigh in with your thoughts after this video. We always appreciate hearing from you at the Becker Brief.
Not all Democrats are created equal. I identify as a Democratic Socialist, but I'm running as a Democrat.
I think we're all on the same page that we hate the Democratic
party. This is about using the system.
Use the ballot line in a way that is, taking advantage of like this particular feature of our American political system.
There's a bunch of Democrats running, and we are not all the same.
Should not be controversial to say death to U.S. imperialism and death to U.S. empire.
The most important thing that we can do is take that empire down from within.
Because when you vote, you will determine the trajectory of this city, this state, and this country.
We need to orient ourselves towards insurrection.
Ultimately to overthrow our own empire.
We are very different.